Hello everyone, welcome to hashtag Team Tiny All Shook Up and Mad About Cards and Crafts. Today I'm sharing a shaker card featuring this spring gnome set as well as the scene builder and photo stack from Hello Bluebird. I'm going to start with a piece of Bristol vellum cardstock, which is my cardstock of choice when using Polychromo pencils, and I am going to ink this gnome up using Gina K Designs Whisper ink as well as the scene inside my Polaroid. I did cut that Polaroid out from the Hello Bluebird using the Hello Bluebird die and that Bristol vellum paper. So I am going to put this scene in the center of that Polaroid and begin coloring on my little gnome. I love these little gnomes. I love their fat little noses. I am going to start coloring them with some flesh tones, and then I will go in and start coloring the little branches that are on his clothing. I will color the top part of the gnome first, his hat, and then I will leave the bottom to color off screen so that you don't have to sit and watch me color it. It is colored the exact same way. I chose this red color. I didn't want any bright colors. I wanted something more subtle to go with the Graphic 45 artisan style paper that I am using. I just immediately envisioned what I wanted to do with this gnome when I got him in my hands, and I thought that the color choice that I used was really good for the style of paper that is Graphic 45. I'm going to use 3 different colors of red. I will start by laying out where I want my shadows to be. And with colored pencils, it's all about the layering. So keeping your pencil sharpened, I have a pencil sharpener, an electric one that Sandy Allnock recommended, and I absolutely love. It works great. And so I will link that and all of the other products in the description box below. But I keep my pencils very sharp when I'm coloring with them. The Polychromos are very creamy. They are like butter. They just go on this paper nicely. The trick is to softly layer the colors on, not to dig too deep with your pencil to try to intensify the color. Instead, take your time and just use the layers, and that sharp pencil will help you get into the crevices of the paper without breaking the paper down and leaving any of those gashy pencil lines. So I am going to come in, I'm using 2 colors right now, that Venetian Red, this is the Indian Red, or no, that was the Venetian Red and the Indian Red, and then I will come in with a crimson, and all of the colored pencils, or burnt carmine, sorry, all of the colors and the products that I use as far as coloring and inking goes will be on the screen. This is a hop as we have each month, and I was excited to do the shaker cards because I have only made one other shaker card, and I thought that it was something that I certainly could practice. And I thought that it turned out, as far as shaking, that the mechanism worked really well. There's a couple things that I would have changed. There's the full gnome. I did not color the bird yet, nor have I colored his beard. I'm going to start coloring the scene, and I will be using various greens. Here is one of the things that I would have changed about the design of the card. I did not think about the sequins gathering at the bottom of that Polaroid and that they would be covering that scene. So unfortunately, when you look at the card, if you're holding it vertically, then all of the sequins are at the bottom and you really don't get a good look at the scene. So I would have moved that scene up a bit more. I would have blended my shadows for the trees or the bushes right there a little bit better. Sometimes, a lot of times, I take pictures of what I'm coloring because something shows up in a picture for me that I don't see with my naked eye, and this would have been one of those things. And I think it still turned out really nicely. It's just, you know, hindsight's 2020, and when you look back at some of the things that you create, there's things that you would do differently sometimes, and this is just one of those. So I'm going to do a little bit of blending right here. I want to talk a little bit about Team Tiny. We are a group of creators that are under 1,000 subscribers. There are a few of us that are getting close to reaching that monetization goal, and I'm very excited for those team members, but most of us are under that 1,000 subscribers by a lot. And so we have banded together so that we could help encourage each other, build each other up, and bring you commercial-free or ad-free content that you would not get with somebody who has already been monetized. So we thank you so much for hopping along with us. I would ask that you would follow along with the other content providers. We have a couple of new content providers on the hop this month that we're excited for you to see. And all you need to do is click the hashtag Team Tiny All Shook Up in my description box, and that will give you a list of everyone who is participating in this hop. So thank you so much for supporting us and for subscribing, liking, commenting. It just really makes our day. The interaction, especially when you comment on videos, is, I think that for most of the providers that is what they like best next to the card making, and so we really do appreciate your comments. And if you enjoy what you see, you can click the bell and you would be notified of our next videos. So again, thank you so much for watching. I think this is my favorite part. I love the way this little bird came out. I did a mixture of teals and blues and greens, and I just think that the bird is really, really pretty. And so the teals that are in there and the greens will go with the paper that I am using. And I leave the beard. I completely forgot about the beard until the very last. At the very end, you'll see that I will use some warm and cool grays to put a little bit of texture in that beard. I do cut him out using my brother's Scan and Cut. So he is cut out, and now I am just trying to place my paper. I have cut that one green piece down to a 1/2 inch by 5.5, and I am going to put this inside my Misty, I believe, and I am going to stamp. I will stamp the sentiment with Fresh Asparagas from Gina K Designs, and then I will also stamp the heart with a perfect match to my gnome, Fired Brick. Those are both from the Spring Gnome set. Just trying to make sure that I get it in the right spot. And then I will start putting my card together. When I put my card together, I layer the foam tape 2 depths. So I put one layer of foam tape down, and then I layer another one on top of that, so it's double the thickness. And that's just to make sure that I have really good movement with my shaker. I spared you watching me put down all of that adhesive, and so you will not see that, but you will, but know that that's how that's what I used to put my shaker together. This is a piece of paper that I wanted to go behind that little panel. I didn't think that if I put that scene directly to my graphic 45 paper that it would that the shaker pieces might get stuck, and so I'm using some scrapbook.com double-sided 1/4 inch tape to cut that, or to glue that, I'm sorry, to that piece, and then I'm going to trim it down so that it fits nicely behind the Polaroid. I'm going to cut this piece, the blue piece, down to 3 3/4 by 5 1/2. And then I am going to glue that to a Neenah Solar White 110-pound card base. I will put the blue piece on top, and I will start putting the background onto, placing it where I want it on that card base. So that's where I want it. I'll use some art glitter glue to glue that down. So my question to you today is, do you make shaker cards? Have you made a shaker card before? Is it something that you feel that you're really good at, something that you enjoy doing? Let me know in the comment box below. I have a lot of sequins and beads and things of that nature that I could certainly use up, and so I think that I will be making more shaker cards in my future. Right now I'm laying down that double-sided sticky tape, and I am going to adhere my piece of acetate. I'll cut that piece of acetate down just a little bit. I don't think I have it exactly right, so I'll kind of get a feel for where it needs to be, and then I'll use my Tim Holtz guillotine trimmer to cut it just a little bit. And then I will put that down, and that's when I will go around that whole Polaroid with some double-sided sticky tape, and you will see that before I place my shaker pieces in there. So those are from Pretty Pink Posh. They are just turquoise sequins, and then I will decide that I want to put some prills. They're green prills, and so I'm going to put a few of those inside, so there's a little bit of green and a little bit of the turquoise, and then I will place that piece of acetate down, and my shaker card will be complete, that portion of it. Now I'm going in and coloring his beard. I will come in with a 1/4 inch piece of fired brick Gina K design paper. That is again a perfect match to my gnome. I thought that the card was missing something. It just didn't look right to me. I do have a piece of double-sided foam tape on the left side because my shaker card is popped up. That side of the gnome needed to be balanced out. And that will be my card. Here's a close-up. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you hop along with the rest of us.